That's fine. We got a quorum. Yep.
Yep. So go ahead. You're good.
All right. It's 7 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and start. Are we ready, Brandy?
We're ready.
Ready, Mel?
Yes.
All right, guys. We'd like to welcome everyone to the Planning and Zoning meeting for Thursday, January 7th, 2021. We appreciate everyone joining us on Zoom tonight if they're out there. And first order of business is we do have a new Planning and Development Director, Mr. Tim Burks, and he'll be taking his office this week. So if anybody has any questions, comments towards that, make sure you come call the city and inquire about that. Tonight, we'll start with our public hearings. And the first public hearing and only public hearing I guess we have is the One Stop Smoke Shop SP-143. Mr. Graville, you want to take us over to start us talking about that?
Thank you. Members of the public, Planning and Zoning Commission, Chairman Barton. I am presenting for you tonight the SP-143, which is 714 North Highway 47. It's a 0.43 acres on the east side of Highway 47, south of 170. It's a proposed site plan for the One Stop Smoke Shop. The applicant is RS Retail LLC, 15442 Rockmore Drive, Chesterfield, Missouri, 63017. As a preliminary matter, I would offer the public hearing notice, which was previously on the screen, to be made part of the record. The Planning and Zoning report that is in front of you dated December 20th to 2020 be made a part of the record by reference, and also a copy of the city code and comprehensive plan of the city of Warrenton be made a part of the record by reference. Essentially, the project summary, as stated by the applicant, is to essentially take the existing gas station. I think it was the Brandy. Which gas station was it? I can't remember what it was most recently called.
BP. It was the BP.
BP. Okay, yeah, the BP up there, and turn it into a one-stop smoke shop retail location. The proposal includes maintenance work on the parking area and will include an asphalt overlay with new parking spaces and the addition of landscape areas to comply with city code requirements. The proposed use is consistent with the staff has determined is consistent with the comprehensive plan, the future land use plan of the city of Warrenton. The site plan analysis done by staff does find that the project is consistent with the municipal code of the city of Warrenton. It is stated in the report, and the staff is recommending that a compliant trash enclosure should be included on the site plan in compliance with city code, regardless of the applicant's statement that they're going to use roll-off totes. Staff has recommend that the proposed site plan be approved with the following condition: that the applicant provide a trash enclosure in compliance with section 405.265G. I'm here to answer any questions on behalf of city staff for the Planning and Zoning Commission. And I believe Mr. Corman and the applicant are on the Zoom and are prepared to talk after after I have an opportunity to answer any questions from the Planning and Zoning Commission. Thank you, Chairman Barton.
Thank you, Mr. Graville. Does anybody on the commission have a question for Mr. Graville before we turn it over to the public?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Has the tanks been moved off that site?
Yes, we do have verification, and it is in the staff report that the tanks have been removed. And I would reference in the report the letter from, oh, I know it's in here. Give me a second.
I believe it's from DNR.
DNR, Missouri DNR, dated January 14th, 2020. You know, that talks about the site and the removal of the tanks and the safety of the site.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper. Good question. Anyone else want to direct a question to Mr. Graville? At this time, Bart, we'll turn it over to you and let you talk about if you have any questions or comments or for us tonight.
Bart, you're muted.
Mr. Corman?
There we are. All right.
All right, there you go, Mr. Corman.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, Mr. Graville did a good job explaining it, but basically we're adding a lot of features to the site with some trees and shrubs, some landscape islands, repaving, and using the building as is with a little update on some painting and some and using that overhang, getting updated, and should have been a sketch in the record for that, of what we're looking at there. And real basic, and they're going to do some retail there. So that's pretty much it. And answer any questions anybody may have. And Riz is online too here to answer any questions more about the business if anybody has more questions about that. And that's all I got.
And they don't have any problem with the trash enclosure, which is going to be required due to city ordinance?
If that's the only additional, we'll make a trash enclosure. We
Okay.
kind of had some discussion with that earlier, and that's why we talked about the totes. But if that's what you guys require, then we'll
Yeah.
have to do it. So
Yeah.
and that'll be and if this meeting goes well, we'll put that revision on before the board of aldermen meeting.
That sounds good. That'd be much appreciated. Thank you, Mr. Corman. Anyone else have any questions for Mr. Corman at this time?
Is there a sidewalk out there, or is
What?
is there a sidewalk out there in front?
It's kind of a sidewalk. Yeah. That whole area is either asphalt or concrete along 47 there.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a sidewalk there. I'm not saying it's the best shape, but that's on the MoDOT right of way. So there is a pathway to walk.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else have anything to talk about tonight at the One Stop Smoke Shop site plan? Brandy, Melody, do you guys have anyone else that needs to add anything tonight? From
I do
your end?
not. I do not.
Thank you, ladies. Okay, we'll close our public hearing on One Stop Smoke Shop site plan 143 and move on to the public comments. And our first public comment tonight will be the First State Community Bank Boundary Adjustment, SUBD-84. Mr. Graville.
Thank you. So this is the public comment section. As the public hearing is closed, this is public comment pursuant to our policy. Briefly, I will make it brief. There is a boundary adjustment submitted by First State Community Bank. Let me find it here. This is compliant. Staff has reviewed the proposed boundary adjustment and found that it is consistent with Chapter 410 of the City of Warrenton, and we recommend approval of the boundary adjustment as submitted. So if you want to call, Chairman, if you want to call for any public comment, that's the city's staff position on the boundary adjustment application.
Okay. Is there any public comments at this time on the First State Community Bank boundary adjustment? For this is our time for public comment.
And for the record, I'm Bart Corman, Lewis and Beatty here to answer any additional questions, but it's extremely simple. So I'm not going to take everybody's time to do anything unless you got a question.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Corman. Melody, Brandy, do you have anybody from the public?
I have nobody on Zoom.
I do not have any.
Thank you, ladies. Hearing none, we'll offer any questions from the commission here in a few minutes, but at this time, we'll close that public comment and open up the public comment for Jekyll Boundary Adjustment Subdivision -85. Mr. Graville.
Thank you, Chairman. Once again, staff is recommending approval of this boundary adjustment. Aside for some derogatory comments made by Mr. Corman about GIS contained in the packet, this is pretty simple. It does comply, and the staff is recommending approval of this boundary adjustment. I have nothing further on behalf of the city.
Okay. Mr. Corman, come back.
Sure. I did have some derogatory comments towards the GIS. I stand by those comments. And once this is all done and complete, the GIS will end up matching this boundary adjustment plat, and then we won't have that issue anymore at this location.
Thank you. All right. I'll open it up to any public comment at this time for the Jekyll Boundary Adjustment Subdivision -85. Ladies, do we have anybody from the public comment on this at this juncture?
I have nobody.
I do not.
Thank you, ladies. We'll move on to the Hawthorne Hollow Final Plat Subdivision -80 for public comment, and we'll start with Mr. Graville. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Staff has reviewed this final plat and found that the proposal is consistent with Chapter 410, the subdivision regulations, and all guarantees. The final plat conforms with the preliminary plat and all guarantees and payments required by the city code will be submitted prior to the signing of the final plat. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the final record plat. I have nothing further on behalf of the city, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Graville. Anyone else have anything?
Sure. For the record, Bart Corman, Lewis and Beatty. It's pretty simple. It's pretty much the same thing you looked at with the preliminary plat that was previously approved. We've turned in our construction plans, and once we get either the escrows or it all completed, this will be ready to be recorded, and we'll have some additional lots in town.
Thank you, Mr. Corman. Ladies, do we have anybody from the public comment section at this time?
I don't have anybody.
I do not.
Thank you, ladies. Appreciate your help on this. So at this time, we don't have any public comments. Commission, if you have any comments or questions, we'll let you direct them back in the regular meeting. So we'll close all the public hearings, public comment at this time, and open up our regular planning and zoning meeting for January the 7th. And we'll start this with the minutes from the December 3rd meeting.
Move to accept the minutes as read.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Cooper, second by Mr. Cullum to approve the minutes as submitted. Anybody have any questions or comments at this time? Roll call vote.
Mr. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Priest,
Abstain as I was absent.
Mr. Holt,
Yes.
Mr. Costello,
Yes.
Mr. Deitch,
Yes.
Mr. Cullum,
Yes.
Mr. Barton,
Yes.
Mr. Durbin is absent. We have 2 vacancies.
Okay. So the motion passes 6-1 with 1 absent and 2 vacancies at this time. First order of business will be the One Stop Smoke Shop Site Plan -143 that was discussed during the public hearing. And it sounds like that the city has recommended that we approve this with the trash enclosure. And it sounds like that Mr. Corman has said that they will take care of the trash enclosure if that's the only thing that really needs to be added. So, but we'll open it up to anybody on the commission that has a question for anybody at this time.
Yeah, so in looking at so this is a one-stop smoke shop in the old BP gas station there on 47. And then right across 47, now we have a cannabis store that's just opening up. And I know that it was noted that this was part of the comprehensive plan and was acceptable. But if I'm pulling into Warrenton and I see a gas station, a smoke shop, and a cannabis shop, is this something that we want to present to people coming off of 70? And I'm just laying that out there for anybody.
So as a preliminary matter, I would just point out to the Planning and Zoning Commission that this is a permitted use. They are not asking for a rezone or a conditional use or any type of special use permit. So the use is allowed. The purpose of the site plan, I think in response to your question, would be probably how is it being advertised coming off the highway and how is it visible for the site plan? How does the site plan lay out for safety reasons? How does the site plan lay out? So I think you can get into, Commissioner, I think you can get into questions about how it, you know, how the sign will be laid out, how it'll be visible from the highway and whatnot. You know, one of the things we did address with regards to the medical marijuana, we do have that overlay district that it's not allowed in certain areas of the city. The one where the medical marijuana is, where I think the old Hardee's is, that is, you know, allowable because it's not within that special RC1 or RC2 district. But this is a permitted use. We're not debating whether or not a discount or a one stop. I apologize, Mr. Rizwan. I didn't mean to call you discount, but we're not debating the use or whether we want this use here. That would be that cat's kind of out of the bag. What we're really debating here is how does the property lay out? How does it look to the public?
Right. And that was something that I was bringing up with our comprehensive plan and discussing moving forward. And the way that we're appearing as a community. So that's just a point that I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, and what I would say in response to that, Commissioner, because I do see our new zoning officer in attendance at this meeting, that one of the things I think that as a project over the next, year that we need to look at is we've had 3 projects, well, really 4 projects come in about the entryway to the city. The car store and the chain link fence that Mr. Corman's firm fought so hard for, and how that becomes the entry of the city. Secondly, we have the storage facilities, and I think, Commissioner Cullum, if you kind of look at it, how we're going to take this feedback and we're going to kind of roll with it. There was some concerns that were raised about self-storage. So we pushed the self-storage back to kind of preserve this retail corridor in front of the self-storage. That's kind of like what we're going to look at. And I think that's going to be the next step is, we've had fast food and retail. These are both of the medical marijuana and the smoke shop are going into gas station and fast food restaurants, the old Hardee's and the old BP. How are these things regenerating for a second generation, and how are we going to plan for this? So I think that's something as a staff we need to kind of take a look at and implement moving forward like we did with the self-storage. But I think that's something that, we need to look at and see how that looks up on that overpass area.
Sounds good. Thank you, Mr. DeVille.
And I'll say that even like Mr. Corman talked about, that they're planning on lots of improvements to this land. I mean, this thing has been vacant for quite some time now, and kind of like I don't know, it's not a very attractive place right now, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it and making it more attractive to the area there. So hoping good things come about. So any other commissioner have a comment for anybody on the one-stop smoke shop site plan -143?
I just would like to say that I'm happy to see some landscaping, and I would hope that the proprietors will take care of the landscaping. We've had other businesses that have initially put landscaping in, but then pretty much left it on its own, and it has not thrived. So I'm hoping that the one-stop smoke shop proprietors will take care of the landscaping. I also have another question. Just what is a one-stop smoke shop?
Thank you for the question, Mr. John. My name is Rizwan Ali. I go by Riz. Really, we're basically a one-stop smoke shop, meaning anything smoking wise is really the key, but we're actually kind of a support for the next door also in a way. The medicinal use and the positive impacts of it are very proven now. And there's a lot of people who are coming to the community that are getting off of their other forms of medications and are trying this form of medicine that's natural with 0 side effects. But a lot of people don't know how to go about and using the product. So we provide a lot of the basically smoking apparatuses. I mean, we certainly will have tobacco products like cigars and various other nicotine products, but our focus is actually various accessories that go along smoking, may it be pipes of many different sorts. CBD also is something that we will be providing that does not have any THC, well, very, very low THC, like 0.03%, which is the legal level. So we'll be providing that for the consumer as well. That has many medicinal benefits, and that comes in many forms, from tinctures, creams. You can use it for yourself, for your pets. Basically many things revolving not just smoking, but other ways to kind of support this industry that's up and coming, that is across next door to us.
Okay, so you you'll not be selling cannabis, is that?
No, no, we are not licensed for that.
All right.
Right,
Okay,
yeah. We're
that
not-
answers my question.
Thank you for the question, sir.
All right, anyone else? All right, we'll entertain a motion to, but make sure you use the trash enclosure in your motion if you don't mind though.
Mr. Cooper, you're not on. You're muted.
Okay, move to accept the motion. I'm sorry, I don't have the numbers in front of me right now that, to get the numbers out.
SP 143.
SP 140, move to accept a motion of SP 143 along with the trash enclosures.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper.
I'll second that.
Who was that, Mr. Priest? Thank you, Mr. Priest.
sir.
We have a motion by Mr. Cooper, second by Mr. Priest to approve the one-stop smoke shop site plan -143. As long as they include the trash enclosure that was requested by the city staff. Any other questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Mr. Holt,
Yes.
Mr. Costello,
Yes.
Mr. Deitch,
Yes,
Mr. Cullum,
Yes.
Mr. Barton,
Yes.
Mr. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Priest.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Thank you for your time, everyone, on that issue. Next order of business will be the First State Community Bank Boundary Adjustment Subdivision -84. Commission, any questions or comments? You heard everybody talk, Mr. Corman and Mr. Gravel talk about this, and the city staff has requested approval, so we'll entertain a motion at this time.
I'll move that we approve the proposition to adjust the boundary for First State Community Bank as set forth in the meeting tonight.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Deitch, second by Mr. Costello to approve the First State Community Bank Boundary Adjustment Subdivision -84. Any questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Mr. Costello,
Yes.
Mr. Deitch,
Yes,
Mr. Cullum,
Yes.
Mr. Barton,
Yes.
Mr. Cooper. You're muted, Mr. Cooper.
Okay. Yes.
Mr. Priest,
Yes.
Mr. Holt.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0 with one absent, 2 vacancies at this time. Next order of business will be the Jekyll Boundary Adjustment Subdivision -85. Again, this was approved, requested for approval by the city staff after their review, and you heard Mr. Corman on his comments, so entertain a motion at this time.
I'll make a motion to recommend.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Deitch.
When I went over and looked at that property today, I noticed in the back of the property, there's a concrete slab of some sort. And my curiosity got the better of me. What is that a remnant of? Does Mr. Corman know?
I believe it's a remnants of a shed. It's a foundation for a little shed. That's
Okay.
back there, and it's even, we even show it on our plans there. So
Yeah,
that's what that is.
yeah, all right.
And
Oh, I see it there, concrete.
John's here. If I'm wrong, speak up, John, but I think that's what it was.
There's also a large pile of brush there. And I noticed that there was a possum in that brush. And I would hope that the city might remove the possum and take it someplace where it has a better habitat. I'm kind of fond of possums. they eat a lot of ticks, and I hate ticks. So
And we should leave them in the city.
We'll move it to over there on Hawthorne Terrace somewhere.
that'd be fine.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Deach. Good questions. Mr. Corman, you get to work on that. Jacob Boundary Adjustment Subdivision -85. Mr. Costello, you were speaking.
I would recommend or make a motion to recommend approval of the Jekyll subdivision 85 boundary line adjustment request.
Second,
We have a motion by Mr. Costello, second by Mr. Deach to approve the Jacob Boundary Adjustment Subdivision -85. Any questions or comments at this time? Roll call vote.
Mr. Deach,
yes.
Mr. Cullum,
Yes.
Mr. Barton,
Yes.
Mr. Cooper,
Yes.
Ms. Priest,
Yes.
Mr. Holt,
Yes.
Mr. Cooper. Mr. Costello, so sorry.
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes 7-0 with 1 absent, 2 vacancies. And last order of business on the regular meeting will be the Hawthorne Hollow Final Plat Subdivision -80. Once again, city has requested approval based on the review. And any other questions or comments? Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve subdivision -80, Hawthorne Hollow.
Who was that?
Mr.
I'll
Priest.
second it.
And got a motion by Mr. Priest, second by Mr. Cooper to approve the Hawthorne Hollow Final Plat Subdivision -80. Any other questions or comments from the commission at this time? Roll call vote.
Mr. Cullum,
Yes.
Mr. Barton,
Yes.
Mr. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Priest,
Yes.
Mr. Holt,
Yes.
Mr. Costello,
Sorry, yes.
Mr. Deach.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0 with 1 absent and 2 vacancies. At this time, we'll close the regular meeting and ask Randy or Melody if they have anything for us at this time, or Mr. Graville.
I have nothing.
Brandy,
Lady?
you're muted.
Sorry about that. Just so you know, we already have, I know one for sure for next month. So we will have a meeting next month. And next month, we will also have Mr. Burks, who is on here, joining us because he will be the new Director of Planning and Development. So I'd like for you guys to.
Thanks. Nice to have you on board, Mr. Burks.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right.
Welcome to Warrenton.
Thank you.
And
Looking forward to working with everyone.
yeah, we've already set up our first meeting for you this week. Before you even get on board, we're sending people to you now.
All right, I'm excited.
Good. That's awesome. Brandy and Mel, do you guys got anything else?
I have nothing else.
Well, thanks for all you guys do to help make this thing work and get a whole bunch of old guys together like this that can work on technology. It's amazing you pull this off. So,
Watch that old guy
oh,
stuff.
sorry about Mr. Deach. Mr. Deach, it's your time. We'll entertain a motion for adjournment, Mr. Deach.
So moved.
Mr.
Second.
Holt?
Again.
All right, got a second. Everybody say favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, good night from Florida.
Thank you.